Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So we're gonna be a little brief tonight. Um, we covered the three main issues, right? Just repeating them. That the minhaj of the Salaf is not merely or restricted to Aqidah and what you should believe. Two, the believers and the dunya. Then three, the relationship between the Muslims, right? So now we're going to get to some of the actual statements that the Salaf used, and I want people to see how they refer things back to the Athars, the narrations, the Hadiths, and the Quran as the foundations of their dalil, right? The early generations, okay? Like I said, this brother was from the second generation, okay? So, and keep in mind, the theme is holding your nafs and your soul accountable and criticizing it. So look at some of the hadiths and narrations and athars that they used as dalil for doing this and implementing this action, right? So the hadith gives you how to implement these actions. So look at this. In a hadith, right? The Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, "Intelligent is the one who holds his nafs, his soul, to account and perform deeds for after death." That's a powerful statement. The one who is intelligent, okay, is the one who holds their soul, their nafs, to account and perform deeds for after death, for the hereafter. And the incapable and the unintelligent is the one who follows his soul, his nafs, in his desires, and then hopes for good from Allah Azza wa Jal. Look at the second part of that. The one who isn't even capable of holding their nafs and their soul to the account. The unintelligent ones is the ones who follows their nafs in whatever it desires while they're hoping for good from Allah Azza wa Jal. But see, just ponder and reflect on that, but apply it to ourselves. Let me ponder and reflect on that, and then keep the three main things in account, because let's see if we could come up with an example. I don't want to do an example, but if you, whatever something that you have as a desire, and it's really in the dunya, and it's something that leads to the hellfire or leads to the path that leads to the hellfire. It takes you off Siratul Mustaqim, but you really desire it. And then you follow your nafs in that desire, but you telling yourself, Allah is going to bless me for what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? Kind of like individuals who involved in a lot of things that Allah telling them not to do. See, I want to delve into this, and then I don't, because I don't have a lot of time. But they don't want to do what Allah telling them they don't want to do. Okay, let's do this. We'll say you in the streets. right? Male or female. But you want Allah to bless you with a righteous spouse. But then you say, well, once Allah bless me with the spouse, I'll give up the streets. Male and female. Once Allah bless me with a spouse, I give this up. But then the spouse comes. Okay? Now that you get the spouse, you like, alhamdulillah, Allah done blessed me with a spouse. But the marriage is 100%, we're going to say the marriage is 92.99% turmoil. Because it's going to have some type of good in it. Something that fulfills your desires. Maybe the lifestyle that y'all have is attractive. Nice home, nice cars. Maybe the sex that y'all have between each other is magnetic. You know, maybe he has money and you don't, but he don't really share it with you, but to the world, it looks like y'all have money. So this percentage attracts you, and this part of your desire is being fulfilled, so you stay in it. You don't want it to end. But the thought never crossed your mind that it's 92.99% turmoil in this marriage because I didn't give up what Allah asked me to give up in order to get married. Because when you look at the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal says clearly, when you practice Islam, or when you practice Islam or live a certain type of way, your spouse and your children are going to become a test for you. Some things that look, there's other ayahs in the Quran that look like what you may feel like is a blessing from Allah because you may have made dua for it. But Allah makes it clear, because of your actions and how you lived and what you was doing before I gave you this, I'm giving you this to punish you with it. See what I'm saying? But so you can see the parallels. The one who hold themselves accountable, right? And then criticize their nafs and soul and get themselves together, their situation be different. But the one who doesn't even have the ability to do it, because Allah not giving them the ability to do it, they are referred to the unintelligent one, and they let their desires lead them into a situation that look good, but it's unfavorable. She may be real pretty. She may have a banging body, but you hate her personality. But to the outside world, man, how you get her? Say vice versa. He may be what the girls like, height, build, whatever, for the females. But the female in the house, they hate the dude personality, but when they walk around, they look like they with the dude. So they choose to stay for these things, but 92.99% turmoil. But the thought never crosses their mind. Instead of giving up what I was doing wrong, I did it in reverse. Let me give this stuff up because what with Allah is better. No, Allah, I'll give it up when you give me what I'm asking for. You see what I'm saying? Then, alhamdulillah, what looks like alhamdulillah ends up being a'udhu billah. You ended up getting tested and punished with what you desire. But you feel like your dua is being answered. It is being answered, but Allah is giving it to you to punish you with you. So, even with these parallels, this falls under the category of the believer in the dunya. How you need to take, you know what I'm saying? And also, The minhaj of the Salaf isn't merely Aqidah, because you could walk around talking about Aqidah, Aqidah, Aqidah. We're in the best place of Aqidah, yet you in the streets. Oh no, Allah, I give this up when you give me what I'm asking for. You don't even have the mindset, the aql, the intelligence to realize that's what you're doing. Because Allah can sit back and be like this, and excuse my words, because I don't want nobody to come in, oh, he says Allah shit, he can sit back. I'm not saying that. I'm speaking how we speak. Allah sit back and watch you, right? As you saying, I got this. I know I shouldn't do it. I know I shouldn't be doing this and that. But I have nothing else until Allah give me this. So the thing is this though. When Allah sit back and look, basically if Allah don't give you what you want, you're never going to give it up. Then when so many people come at you about it, now you got to flip the script. Now you got to change Islam to fit your narrative. No, it's permissible for me to get this money, man. I got to feed my family. The Salaf used to say, those who worship Allah on the edge got to work their way to the middle. All these type of rhetorics. You're not holding your nafs and your soul accountable. And then you're not criticizing it. We're going to get to some of the criticizing, the way they criticize, right? So now we're going to go to some Athar, right? By Ishaq ibn Ismail, narrated to us that Sufyan ibn Uyayna narrated to us, right? This comes from Umar ibn Khattab, right? Because this break down all of the isnad, and it's kind of long, so I don't want to do the isnad. But Umar said, hold yourselves, your nafs, your soul, to account before you will be held account by Allah, and measure yourselves before you will be measured. For it is verily easy for you than the account of tomorrow, the day of resurrection, that you hold yourself to account today and beautify yourselves for the major presentation, the day when you will be presented, none of your secrets or hidden affairs will be hidden from Allah. So where he's saying beautify yourselves for the major presentation, you can see how it goes, how this ties into the hadith we just read. Those who perform their deeds for the hereafter. Beautify yourselves for the major presentation, the day that you're going to stand before Allah. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to beautify yourself for this dunya, for the people. See, then you're going to be more on the haqq. This is the minhaj of the Salaf, not just rhetoric. And see, if people really practice this and was able to understand this and explain this properly, you wouldn't have so many people hating it and attacking it because of the way that they feel about a particular group of people. You understand? So, but this isn't about that. This is about us, once again, learning to look and hold our nafs, our souls, accountable. And let me tell you something. When it comes to holding ourselves accountable, you got to be 150,000% honest with yourself. In some cases, it's actually better to be over honest with yourself. not to the raising yourself above level, as we spoke on. The ones who raised themselves to the level, the people haven't raised you. This isn't how the people see you. This is what you're saying to yourself. So you're projecting that onto other people. You know what I'm saying? And it goes back to a video where I was talking about when you learn and you sit with people of knowledge, like on a higher level, and you learn from their manners, you will start to see, you don't see them saying things like, I'm on my deen. Man, I'm always on Sirato Mustaqim. That's a level of elevating yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm a ustad. I'm a sheikh. Call me this. Call me that. This is my title. Especially when it's not earned or deserved. Especially when it's not earned or deserved. Example of being earned. Let's say you want to be a rapper and you want to call yourself Dr. Dynasty. So everybody refers to you as Dr. Dynasty. That's just your rap name, but you haven't earned the title of a doctor. But we know from our culture, oh no, we're not really literally like a doctor. We know he's not a doctor. Yeah, we know that. But see, when you do that in Islam and put type of certain titles on your name that you haven't earned, nor do you deserve, it's a strong possibility. It's a strong possibility that you're on the wrong side of the ladder. This isn't holding yourself accountable. It was because I done heard these stories from more than one student, but it was a student who was like, they was somewhere and the guy was, matter of fact, this one was Shadid speaking on this one. When he was in the university and they went to go listen to a scholar, and this person came out talking about, this is Sheikh al-Islam. He's this. If it wasn't for him, Islam is this, and this. And then the sheikh came out, and when he took the microphone from him and said, Wallahi, he admonished him. I'm none of that what this man said. He's a liar, this, and this. Don't ever introduce me like that again. Instead of coming out with his head up high, and then allowing people to address him with a title that he didn't earn, nor does he deserve. Okay? That's why, like, even sometimes with me, not to make it about me, I'm not going to never really say, I'm your teacher, I'm this, I'm that. No, I'm just like you. I'm just another Muslim sitting here sharing information with you. You see what I'm saying? But I'm doing it from a form of taqwa, from tawheed. I'm being honest in how I feel. It's not a fake humility. You see what I'm saying? Here go another one. Another statement by Umar Ibn Khattab, right? Where he says, by Allah, they basically caught Umar saying this to himself, right? By Allah, you will verily fear Allah, O son of Al-Khattab, or he will verily punish you. This is him criticizing his nafs, his soul, his self. Oh, you gon' fear Allah. You being a Khalifa and all this other type of stuff. Bring it down a notch, baby. You gon' fear Allah. And if you don't fear Allah, Allah is gonna punish you. This is what they call Umar saying to himself. This is the minhaj of the Salaf. Not, I'm a mere mu'mineen. You know what I'm saying? I'm a mere mu'minun. You other guys get along. I'll never work with you. But anyway, so they come in and shows an Athar, under stock for the law, a Quran ayat. And I swear by the self-reproaching soul. So here comes that dalil along with the first hadith from Rasulullah that he spoke on. Now they show two Athar by Umar, right? Now they coming with some Quran ayat. Look at how their dalil is Quran, Sunnah, Athar. And I swear by the self-reproaching soul, he said, the believer is not met except in a state when he is admonishing himself or his soul. This is the believer. Anytime you come across a believer, they in a state of admonishing themselves, right? He asked himself, what did I intend with my words? That conversation I just had with that brother, this conversation I just had with this sister, what did I intend by that? What was my intentions? Studying their own nafs and soul, right? What did I intend with the food that I ate? Was I being gluttonous? Was I just wasn't really all that hungry and just got a crab boil because it's the new flex with big lobsters, and now I want to plaster it all over social media so everybody can see me having a seafood boil with lobsters and fat crabs in it? Did I get this big dumb tomahawk steak? Or am I in accordance with the hadith, eating to nourish my body, this area for food, this area for water, and this side for air? What was my intentions with the food that I just ate? Whether, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is that you ate, right? What did I intend with my drinking? This stuff that I'm drinking, just like, not for the Muslim, but some of the kuffar, we love, sometimes I go back and look at some of my childhood friends on social media, and some of my childhood friends, we was friends, but we wasn't in the same gang, but we wasn't ops, but they was like ops with people I was around, but we grew up together. And I see how now, at the age where they still taking pictures holding up expensive bottles of alcohol, for some reason I just noticed, and I look and I be like, dang, we did that as a kid. But we was trying to look at us. We cool. We drinking on this all the way back. Even if it was a old English, whatever was the drink that was in thing. So now we older, and like I done been left that whole entire life. Well, alhamdulillah, as I was still fairly young, but to see them still doing that and just noticing how we put up pictures, our pictures always involve, if we ain't doing some gang signs, we showing some alcohol, or we showing some type of a drug, some marijuana, and even like our youth and like some of their kids and our kids, they want to take pictures holding up alcohol or throwing up gang signs. It's just a vicious cycle that repeats itself. But just looking at how some of them just getting particular drinks, and they drinking certain things because it's the new fad, it's the trend. Let me take pictures with it. So like even with that, why am I even drinking what I'm drinking? Might be and like the Muslim might be drinking too much pop. Man, I know I shouldn't have been drinking all that pop, man. I'm being greedy, I'm being gluttonous. And I sat up here and drunk a whole 2 liter of soda holding yourself accountable. As opposed to, I'm just drinking on this because it's the fad. I'm showing off. Right? And the weak, he walks ahead without admonishing himself. He don't even ask. That conversation I just had, like, why did I say what I said? Why was I talking about what I talking about? But they refer to this one as the weak one. You understand? Number 5, right? This one by Musa ibn Yusuf, narrated to us and said, Amr ibn Humran narrated to us from Sa'id from Qatada, and the one whose affairs have been lost. He said he lost the biggest thing there is to lose. He lost his soul. He let his nafs take control of him. He doesn't have any control of his nafs. And perhaps, despite of this, you will find him preserving what he has of this dunya and wasting his religion. See how they admonished themselves? See how they spoke to one another and kept each other on point? With sincerity, with dalil. And then I'm going to end it on that one because I don't have much time. And we'll come back to it. There's many more narrations. It even get stronger. Let me read one more, man, because this one touched my heart. Right? I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because it's on the same page. And I even wrote some notes by it. And even got my bookmark, you know what I'm saying? Because I always want to be able to turn back to this one. Right? Abu Musa al-Abdi narrated to us from Abu al-Malih, from Maymun ibn Mihran, who said, now keep in mind, the person who's saying narrated to us, Brother Abu Bakr ibn Abi ad-Dunya, from the second generation. So he's writing this book saying what his companions and the different individuals that he's sitting with, he came after the generation of the companions. Right? He learned from some people who learned directly from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they're narrating to him. When he say us, then they're in a group, possibly a class type setting. To me, then it was narrated to him. You understand? So some of these, when you understand isnads, if you go to some books of hadiths and different things, you might be able to find this brother name in the isnad. I don't want to give it all the way away, but we'll leave it up for some research. Okay? But anyway, look at this one right here. He narrated to us from Abu al-Malih from Maymun ibn Mihran, who said, the God-fearing, the one who has taqwa, holds himself to account more than a disobedient ruler, and a stingy partner holds others to account. That's hard. That's hard. Disobedient rulers, they always stand on the neck of their subordinates. They always trying to rule with an iron fist. Sometimes the man of the house this can be in a Muslim household. Man of the house, Muslim man, come home drunk, high off marijuana, Percocets, Darvocets, Xannies, right? Done spent some of the rent money or some of the money for the internet bill or the phone bill. He done spent some of the money on these drugs and alcohol and out kicking it with some other Muslims, having a good old time, and then come in the house 2, 3 in the morning and want to put his foot on your neck because a cup in the sink. Where my food was with these dishes. You need to start studying Quran. He want to come put his foot on your neck while he's overly intoxicated. But the way these type of people hold other people accountable, this is how the one who has taqwa, this is what the one who has taqwa does to themselves, to their nafs, to their soul. Like a stingy person, who a string penny pincher, a bean counter as they call them, and they got a business partner. They be on them about every single bean. No, we can't do that, man. That might cost 3 beans, man. We got to figure out a way to pay for that with half a bean. They be on them. But this is the one who has taqwa. This is how they do theyself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna close on that note, man, and then I'm gonna speak on, and this just gonna be a couple of minutes, because my man Salafi, my guy, he wanted to speak on a particular imam did a khutbah. I listened to it. Yeah, I listened to it from the Salafi side. Although I'm Salafi, I hate having to do distinctions. So he did a little khutbah, and it had some admonishments in it. It was, to me, not that he got it from me, but it's funny because during this khutbah, he didn't say a Muslim home, but he got to talking about how the behaviors start at home, and how parents did this and parents did that. If everybody changed their home into a Muslim home, how it would affect all of society, and the whole city would change. I'm mentioning that because while he spoke on it, it's funny because a couple of people who follow him to a T listened to my video about a Muslim home and didn't like it. They didn't like it. And I'm going to tell you why they didn't like it. Because they automatically assumed that it was a book written by Sheikh Munajid. Sheikh Munajid ain't the only person who wrote a book on a Muslim home. Because they want to, completely 100% tear Sheikh Munajid down, but they still use Islam Q&A, some of them. But when he's saying basically the same thing in a khutbah, they love it. Right? But it's a couple of key things. And this is why I was saying sometimes when people don't come from your culture and they don't understand how your word play is, they could take certain things and go out of context. So I had spoke on it. Somebody had made one. Let me word this carefully. Beautiful khutbah, but it has 6 degrees of separation. Once again, we're separating ourselves from the issue. We have absolutely no role to play in it. Okay? This isn't our community. These aren't our people. So I'm just wording it had that 6 degrees of separation in it. So when the person posted the meme, some of the people who follow this person to a T, they was sharing it. You know why? Because they agreed with it. The meme said Islam in Philly is the new ratchet. Now, from us who come from this culture, we know he's not saying that Islam, the deen of Islam, is ratchet. The way y'all Muslims practicing Islam in a ratchet way. is what he meant, is what he was getting to. And a lot of the people agree with it. But because the way it was said, they took that as a shot. That's a shot towards us. So now they got to come with this imbecile, he's slandering all the Muslims. Islam is never ratchet. We know that. But the way people practicing Islam in certain areas, they are practicing it in a ratchet way because they're doing ratchet things, but they acting like this is permissible in Islam. Case in point, this masjid versus that masjid. Although that masjid ain't versus us. And if you pray in it, you're an innovator, you're a deviant, you off the minhaj. That's practicing Islam in a ratchet way. That's what they were saying to. But because they took it as a shot, they got to defend it. Instead of 100% admonishing these individuals that did what they did. Then they want to go in there and throw in, let me show y'all something. Put 10 people together. 5 Muslims, 5 non-Muslims. But they friends. They from the same block, they from the same clique, they from the same gang. They get to fighting with some people. Then they get to shooting, whether it's the Eid or wherever it's at. Some of them Muslim, some of them aren't Muslim. But because it was their event, and once again, they took it as a personal shot because an individual, one of the same individuals said, I seen the video, some of them wasn't even Muslim. Now they got to come with that attack to defend it. You done did takfir on them. You done did takfir on them by saying some of them wasn't even Muslim. Some of them wasn't Muslim. That's not taking the ones who was Muslim off the deen of Islam. But then to go in and say, we know they're Muslim because we know their parents. They was born Muslim. Then y'all want to share these videos, which people can use these videos to see who did what, and now use it as a personal attack and say, yeah, I thought it was you, and then come kill them. But who they almost killed, what they almost did, because you have to defend, because this is your man's and them kids. But if some of them wasn't Muslim, how is that making takfir when it's a true statement? But it's PR, and it's doing more of a whole, you imbeciles, how dare y'all say something about us? Why is it them come in with this more rhetoric? Why is it that when the Muslims do something, they highlight the religion, as when non-Muslims don't do anything? Do they blame the Super Bowl when the people tore up? Do they blame the NFL? Basically, you saying, why you blaming us? Why you blaming us for what the members of our masjids and their kids is doing? Why highlight the religion? Because the Muslim is supposed to know better. And when the Muslim is running around parading like nobody practice Islam better than us. No one. Everybody else except for us is a deviant, an innovator, off it, your masjid, everybody. Even if your masjid used to be in cahoots with us. But all these issues is coming from your community. A large percentage of it, or people who done left your community and they still under that influence of those teachings. But it's a 6 degrees of separation. Do they blame the NFL for them tearing up the street in Philadelphia? Because, see, I haven't been talking about it because the Ashery's been having a field day with them, boy. Why don't you just admit that you failed as a leader? The Asheries been putting their foot on their neck. Now, some of y'all haven't been around long enough. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to put the blame on anybody. Oh, those kids just disgraced themselves. I just want to clarify a couple of things. You can't make a whole thing. Everybody who knows and know how we talk, nobody was ever saying that the Deen of Islam is ratchet. We know that they talking about the way people practicing what they calling the Deen of Islam. They doing it in a ratchet way. But then the point is, you point out all these characteristics that go on. Oh, well, you got these fathers. They're not doing this, and this. That's what's ratchet. Yes, that is what's ratchet, but that also apply to a nice amount of men in your community. But they feel like it's part of the religion of Islam to do that. Or you can't put me on child support. You can't force me to be a father, because if you do that, you involve in the taghut. Even some of y'all done heard some of the top leaders. Sister, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's the taghut. If he beat you up, you can't call the police. That's involving the taghut. If our man's and them kid, along with some other people, come shoot up the Eid, and they fighting and tearing up stuff, you can't put those videos out there because somebody might get revenge on one of them. It was still a form of making an excuse, but defending themselves by saying, y'all trying to say our Islam is ratchet. Everybody's Muslim need to stand up against that statement. They're trying to say Islam is ratchet. No, that ain't what they saying. We know it. We get it. Even some of your members that I know for a fact is members and diehard members of you, once the thing was posted, they started sharing it. And putting hearts on it, putting likes on it. Then they started taking it down once y'all started saying something, because y'all was like, oh, they taking a shot at us. Some of them wasn't Muslim. Well, I seen the video. Some of them people wasn't even Muslim. Some of them wasn't Muslim. How is that making takfir when it's a true statement? But now y'all got to turn them into takfirs. Why? Because you feel like, because they seen the actions of your mans and them kids, they trying to say they not Muslim because of what they did. No, they was referring to the ones who actually wasn't Muslim. But see, some people don't know how to listen to these people because they too wrapped up. They too enveloped in the washing of the brain. And I'm going to end it on this, because some of us has been around long enough to know when the discussions about this stuff being is the way they practice in Islam is going to get to the point where they fighting and shooting and all this killing and all these different things and shooting at killings at the janazas, at the grave site and all that. We was around when other different people said we all need to come together and start to get a hold on it, and y'all was saying we not going to work with none of them, we not going to do this, we not going to do that. Shadeed Muhammad had a show called the Mardia Show. On the Mardia Show, you know, and I hate that man ended his show because of the way that they attacked him. Now y'all check this out. I'm not defending Shadeed Muhammad. He a grown man. He could defend himself. But I'm speaking on the reality of the situation. I was watching the show live. On this show, Shadeed Muhammad had some guests. And Shadeed Muhammad was talking about how we need to come together and start to work on the social ills in society. Especially cities like Philly and New Jersey. Said when you walk out some of our masjids, there's drug addicts. Some of the members in the masjid, they're on drugs. Until we clean up the drug abuse, until we clean up some of these social ills, we're not going to be able to clean up the Muslim community. Because they're on drugs, they're not in their right state of mind. We need to come up with programs to help these people get off drugs. We need to come out and clean up our neighborhoods, as opposed to just keep saying Tawheed, 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 Aqidah, Aqidah, Aqidah. That's what he said. Now, when he said that, but I'm talking about, this was so long ago. This is when he had the TV show. This was in like maybe 2013, 2014 or something like that. Yeah, this like 2013, maybe 2012. Later in 2012, 2013. So this is how long ago it was when he started talking about we need to start working on the social ills around the Muslim community. We need to, like, even, he was like, we could get some of these CNAs, some of these nurses and doctors, and set up testing tables and test some of these people, although they're not Muslim, but test them for venereal diseases and get them some treatment. Help them get off drugs. Dude did drug and alcohol counseling. But because they took that as a personal shot, when this Saturday came around, now I'm listening to the class from this particular individual from this Salafi side. We doing a class called the Shar of Imam Barbahari's book. So when in the class he said, hold on, I want to play a clip for y'all from this imbecile or something like that. So he played a clip of what Shadeed Muhammad said. Now in my head, y'all not allowed to listen to him. Why is you playing that? Why? Because you listened to him. He played the clip and said, listen to this imbecile making a mockery of Tawheed. The reason why we have the social evil, the reason why we had it, because people don't understand Tawheed. But you taking it as a personal shot because you feel like some of the drug use and some of the things they're talking about is a finger point at members in your community. Not realizing, are you also saying they don't understand Tawheed? When he never said that. He never said Tawheed wasn't important. So then they went and found a video that wasn't even about Shadeed Muhammad, especially for the people who understand Arabic, where a person, the video was a couple of years old, and a person said, what do you say about somebody that makes a mockery of Tawheed? So the sheikh said, is this person a student or this person like someone who gives dawah? He said, yeah, that's a person who gives, he is a person that gives dawah. So the sheikh said people need to be careful of people like that. This person has some deficiencies if they give dawah or they call themselves a student, but they make a mockery of Tawheed. This was not Shadeed Muhammad. The video was older than when Shadeed Muhammad said what he said. They took the video and put a title on it, clickbait, what the scholar said about Shadeed Muhammad. Okay? First and foremost, Shadeed Muhammad never made a mockery of Tawheed. And then, like he said, if we just teach everybody Tawheed, we don't need to work on those social ills. We teach everybody Tawheed, we'll be fine. Now y'all got people killing each other in the masjid, outside the masjid, at the grave sites, at the Eids, because y'all shot down the working on the social ill thing. But then more students ended up coming home, and then they started working on the social ills in the community, and y'all was losing members because I'm still listening. They trying to steal the dawah from us. Then y'all started doing a play on, we need to work on the social ills. We need to start having this and to take the boys to do this. But before, when it was that man idea, which was an excellent idea, which had this plan had been implemented in 2013, but it was going to require what? everybody coming together. We'll never come together with Ahlul Bidah. What made him Ahlul Bidah? He had all type of dalil about the social ills. Anywhere the Muslims went, they drunk alcohol. They was all getting drunk. They was beating their wives. They was having orgies. The Muslims went to that and changed all of that. But now, you say doing your khutbah, your recent khutbah, how it starts home. You talking about all the drug abuse, all the drinking, all the twerking, all this. This city is so ratchet. The city of Philly is a ratchet community. But when a Muslim was talking about addressing the social ills of that city, before it affected the Muslim Ummah, in 2012, 2013, y'all made fun of them, y'all refuted them, y'all lied on them, and did all type of stuff, and got on him so bad, he got so frustrated, he ended the whole TV show. He's sitting up there, he got women, not mentioning whether those women that he had on the show was his wives or not. He's sitting there with women on the show. He's a jahil. He's an imbecile. What's wrong with the Muslims working on social ills in the community? But now you want to talk about how socially ill the city is. That's not our fault. Don't blame our community. Don't blame these people. Don't blame my mans and them kids. They just acting like Philly people. You talk fear in half the city. No, there was some people that wasn't out there. That's out there that wasn't Muslim. There was some people that was out there that wasn't Muslim. Like they said, I seen some of them people wasn't even Muslim. Even now, and let me get off of here, man. Solution, because they feel like dude he was an ex-rapper, so he took another shot at him during his khutbah. Rappers giving dawah in the community. This is ratchet. Although I don't know if he's a rapper anymore. He was a rapper back in the day. But because he made the statement and the statement was twisted and taken out of context, some of them wasn't Muslim. But because he's on the other side, he go to IMFC. He was just at one of Tahir's conferences and took Philly Freeway and Gilly the Kid and them. They went to go to one of Tahir's speeches during Ramadan, right? And they took some pictures with Tahir, and they donated all this money and fed IMFC like it was, they fed a massive amount of people, right? This is ratchet. He's taking a shot back at. So he said, and the rapper, I ain't not gonna call him no rapper. I know he used to be a rapper, but listen, every year, for years, wallahi, this year I didn't donate because I was donating to somewhere else, but every year I donate to help him feed fasting Muslims. Sometimes he'll have a whole block with tables and stuff set out there, free food for the fasting Muslims. Free food for the fasting Muslims. Been doing it for years. Probably about 10 years. During Ramadan. I got 100 plates. Free food for the fasting Muslims. For you to break your fast. Matter of fact, Will Smith manager, the rapper dude, the famous actor Will Smith, his manager was Muslim. Just this year, his manager brought Will Smith to the brother, and Will Smith wrote him a fat check to feed fasting Muslims. So he came up with a solution. I got with IMFC, right? We're sending out a message to anybody who's has some say so in these schools. Teacher, administration, whatever. We got IMFC, and then we're going to go to these schools and mentor the youth and pray with them. Make sure they're Muslim for the right reason. Give them their shahadas for the right reason, and we're going to go with them and pray with them every day. We're going to go to this we're going to go to this school, pray with them this prayer, then we come into this school on the next prayer, and we're going to go to the schools every day and sit with the Muslim youth, pray with them, give them dawah. Anybody want to take their shahada, we're going to make sure you're taking your shahada, not because it's gang culture, not because of this, that, and the third. And we're going to do it with every single public school in Philly. So reach out to us. That was a problem. So now where the pushback come in. Instead of saying, yeah, that's alhamdulillah. What's said? Y'all can't pray with the people from IMFC. If they come to y'all school, if they do make it their way into the school to lead y'all in prayer and be able to get y'all in dawah in school, you can't pray with them because they off it. They deviants. They innovators. When they coming in to bring more unity, because, like they said, some of the people wasn't Muslim. How was that takfir in half the city? Because you took it personal by saying we know some of these people, we know their parents, they was born Muslim. They wasn't referring to the people who was Muslim, obviously. They was referring to the people they knew who wasn't Muslim. So how was that takfirin? But again, it's some more that we throwing out these words and these rhetorics that our people is caught up in. Man, I'm finna get off of that, man. I ain't gonna say nothing else about it, man. But like I said, wallahi, it was like 2013. It may have been early 2014. It was a very long time ago when Shadeed Muhammad was talking about addressing these issues in Philly, and if nothing was done, it's going to start being the way that it is now. Just a couple of years ago, when he was talking about when he get his masjid, he didn't say he's going to deny people their shahada. If somebody comes and say they want to take their shahada, they leave this part out because they train to hate this man. You can't listen to him, but anytime he's on live, they be on his live, listening, soaking up game, but then trying to argue with him. Recording them. He even talking about where they posted a clip of his on Instagram. So he went to go look at it and look at the comments. Okay? But anyway, when he was saying, when I get my masjid, when somebody comes say, and they young, I want to take my shahada, we not just going to say, okay, cool, you can take your shahada. We're going to test them. Make sure they be coming to Islam for the right reason. Right? Then we're going to talk to them and explain to them exactly what Islam is. Then after we do that, then we're going to say, do you still want to take your shahada? If they say yes, we're going to give them their shahada and then enroll them in a new shahada program. And we're going to nurture them through their shahada. This is exactly what the man said. Then because he used Quran ayats, then because he used hadiths about this behavior being implemented, they attacked him. And then like he said now, see, maybe y'all should have checked with some. It's obvious right now, some of these youth not taking their shahada for the purposes of what Islam is. But have people paid attention as opposed to, we got to hurry up and tear him down because he said something that makes sense. But we haven't been taught that. Don't delay the shahada. Anybody want to come take their shahada? You know what I'm saying? This and that. Like I said, I done seen people take their shahada and thought that the second part of the shahada was referring to Elijah Muhammad. Because they didn't understand Islam. They didn't know what they was getting themselves into. And then when they accepted Islam, and then they couldn't uphold the principles of Islam, but they corrupting people along the way, then they leave. Then they leave the deen of Islam. Or they might do something ignorant like shoot up a Eid and then leave. Break up some marriages, then leave. But they bad ideas until it come to light. And now they still want to shoot shots. Oh, this rapper doing this, you rapper doing that. Man, that man feed fasted Muslims every year during Ramadan. Wallahi, I donate. Wallahi. But because the statement was made, some of them wasn't Muslim. Some of them wasn't Muslim. So what? Anyway, man, I'm gone, man. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.